There are so many numbers that society wants us to remember. From pi, that's 22/7, see, I still remember from school, to your ID number, to the age of your wife, rounded down as far as she wants you to go, depending on how old she feels. But there are some numbers that really do count, and these numbers should be checked ever so often to make sure your own number isn't up too soon.
Early detection is essential to reduce the risk of heart attack or stroke. This is why everyone is encouraged to know their numbers. These numbers are the results of 4 essential screening tests, namely your blood pressure, your total cholesterol, your fasting blood glucose level, as well as your waist circumference.
To help explain how these numbers can save your life, I've called in some great experts to help clarify and inspire. In studio with me is fitness and wellness expert Lisa Raleigh, familiar face on our show, Dr. Lerato Masemola, and Dr. Darren Green, sporting a lovely blue shirt. Welcome to Doctor's Orders, guys.
Thanks, Riyadh.
So the important numbers related to blood pressure, to sugar, to cholesterol. What are these numbers and what do they mean?
When it comes to cholesterol, the total cholesterol, the normal value is to be less than 5, okay? Yes. But total cholesterol is made up of different components, what people call the bad cholesterol, which is the low-density lipoprotein, and the high-density lipoprotein is the good one that needs to be above 1.2, whereas the LDL needs to be less than 3. The most important thing to remember is that you want the bad cholesterol down and the good cholesterol up, because the bad cholesterol is the one that takes the normal cholesterol from your liver into the cells. So if there's too much cholesterol in the cells, that's where you get the arteries being clogged up and you get heart attacks, etc. The good cholesterol needs to be higher so that it can take all the cholesterol back to the liver to be broken down and the body gets rid of it.
Yeah, but cholesterol is quite a number of numbers
it is.
to remember. Quite complicated. What about blood pressure or sugar?
Yeah, I think blood pressure, everyone knows blood pressure as the pressure represented in a hosepipe system.
Yes.
That's the easiest. And they know there's a top value and a bottom value. The top value is referred to as the systolic blood pressure, and that's the pressure in the system when the heart actually is at full contraction. And then there's the diastole, which is the lower one, which is when the heart relaxes, and that value is then the lower one. So normal blood pressure is 120/80. Traditionally, many people know that. What most people don't know is that those values are altered according to your age. And there is definitely a slight difference between males and females, obviously. So 120/80 being normal, when should you start worrying? Well, if your systolic is above 120 constantly and above 90, then you need to seek medical help. The diastolic must not be above 90. Wow. So everyone that feels comfortable with 125/85, they need to rethink it.
Okay. Do you actually have to treat yourself at that specific blood pressure with medication?
Not really. When we diagnose high blood pressure, the guidelines for us as well as doctors, we need to do it on 2 separate occasions. We try to exclude things like white coat hypertension, the fear of going into the doctor's room.
You get blood pressure just from seeing the doctor.
And the white coat, obviously, traditionally.
But it's you can also advise the patient who's pre-hypertensive, as I would call it, with that values between 120/80 to 140/90, to, if they can, buy a machine, and they must do the blood pressure first thing in the morning, because the base blood pressure will be when they're relaxed as they get up, and they do that first in the morning, and if that's normal, then we have to look into things as what is raising their blood pressure so high during the day. Darren said that the blood pressure is 120/80. That is the guidelines, but there is a range. My blood pressure is not going to be the same as Darren's or Lisa's or Riyadh's as well. So don't go panicking now and start wanting to take medication, because there are things you can do to bring your blood pressure down. Because there are things, naturally. There's a lot of things with lifestyle, weight reduction, food. Healthy food eating can also help with.
Of course, exercise. That's going to be your best bet always to reduce blood pressure. Yeah, first things first. And then, of course, reducing your sodium and salt intake. And just in general, being overweight is going to increase blood pressure. So you've got to bring your I don't want to say body mass index, because that's what I wanted to talk about. One of the numbers that we almost need to throw away is this BMI.
You're not interested in the body mass index?
I'm not interested in BMI at all, because if you are a solid person, so you have a lot of lean muscle tissue on your body, and this goes for most men out there, you're going to jump on the scale and then you take your weight divided by height squared and you get BMI, and you actually come up grade 2 obese. So it's not accurate. So what you need to do rather is focus on body composition. So what is your body made up of? How much muscle do you have?
Girls are made of sugar and spice and all
and all things nice, yes.
And boys, slugs.
Not sugar though, okay? Because that brings us another problem. But yeah, so you've got to make sure that your lean muscle mass is up, body fat's down, water mass is up. What are you made of? That is way more important than your BMI and your weights per se.
And in terms of sugar levels?
Blood sugar is something I think that's very important because it drives appetite.
Yes.
And getting to regulate blood sugar levels is essential. The values at play are quite easy to remember. If you take 7-11, those are the ones we taught at medical school.
Yes.
So when you do a fasting glucose test, which is one of the tests to look at sugar control, not the best test, but one of the screening tests, you ask someone to fast for at least 8 hours. They then go for the test. If the value is under 7, it's regarded as okay. If the value is between 7 and 11, warning bells start going up, and we should look at insulin resistance or pre-diabetes. If the value is more than 11, it's definitely diabetes, and you need to then obviously be counseled and start on treatment and look at managing it.
From a lifestyle perspective, what can you do to control these?
For me, when it comes to your blood glucose level, that is the most important thing, because if you had to just focus on managing your blood glucose level as opposed to focusing on weight loss, you would never actually have a weight problem.
Yeah.
So the idea is to keep your energy levels balanced.
Yeah.
So you're eating for sustained energy. You never have peaks and troughs in your energy levels where you're craving and then generally you're going to crave the wrong things.
Yeah.
So how you do this is you adopt a low GI eating plan as part of your daily lifestyle. This to me is the most effective life managing balancing system ever. Okay, so how you do that is you never eat carbs on their own.
Never.
Never.
Even chip rolls. What about that? A carb inside a carb.
No, you don't eat carbs inside carbs.
No.
And you definitely don't eat something like jam on toast because that's just sugar on carbs, so it's carbs and carbs. So first of all, you have carbohydrates that are not highly processed or refined, so they are more whole grain that contain more fiber. Okay, the more fiber you have in your diet, it's going to take longer for the body to digest, and it's going to eke out that energy over a longer period of time, keeping your blood sugar balanced. Number 2 is that you add a protein to any carb. So any lean protein will lower the GI, and any good quality fats is going to lower the GI and also help to reduce cholesterol. So good fats, good proteins, fiber, together with carbs equals a balanced eating plan, low GI, sustained energy, weight loss, and balancing your blood glucose. It's actually really simple. Yeah.
So any final tips based on the topic of numbers?
Sure. I think when a lot of people are struggling with high blood pressure and weight management issues and blood sugar controlling issues, they mustn't forget that even despite lifestyle modification, if they're struggling, they mustn't forget to look at their thyroid gland.
Yeah.
That's one of the common things we see in practice. An underactive thyroid gland decreases the metabolism quite significantly and can really get people down. So don't forget, if you are struggling, to look at that.
And I think when it comes to your numbers, that data beats opinion every single time. So you don't know where you're going unless you know where you are.
Yes.
And you've got to have all the tests done. I mean, you've just got to, it takes half an hour once every 6 months, and without knowing your numbers, you're in serious danger. Right now, a lot of the diseases we're talking about now are silent.
Yeah.
They're silent killers.
Yes.
You're never going to know, you're never going to feel any symptoms, and then wham, it's too late.
Yes.
And you're never too young to screen and check.
Yeah.
Don't wait till you're older, because younger people die of heart attacks as well.
And
Very
all the things we
important.
discussed today are lifestyle related. So most of the time they're your fault. So, you know what I mean?
Your
At times
own fault.
it's your own
What about
fault.
the marketing? That burger there. But
You
like
have
the
choice,
steam
eh?
coming
You
on
have
top
choice
of-
always.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thank you, Lerato, Lisa, and Darren, for your amazing insights. As usual, thanks, guys.
Nestle. Good food, good life.
Doctor's Orders has partnered with Nestle to bring you the Healthier Choices for Life event, where essential screenings will be done free of charge.
The 29th of September marks World Heart Health Day. And this really is to create an awareness amongst consumers and amongst people, populations, about how important it is to actually get your heart healthy. We may say that we are fit, that we are succeeding in our exercise routines, that we are eating healthy, but 2 recent surveys actually show that South Africa is in a bit of denial. More than 68% of our population have a girth more than the desirable amount. And what this heart health awareness is meant to do is actually put consumers in touch with what is a reality and make them understand that these numbers actually is a predictor for heart disease. And as soon as you know your number, you can do something about it. So Nestle, Doctor's Orders and Pick n Pay are extending this free service to help consumers and the public come into touch with what is a reality, and to actually give them the opportunity to get not only themselves but all of their families tested, so that they can start making those lifestyle changes that are actually necessary for bringing those red numbers into the green.
Join Doctor's Orders and Nestle at the Healthier Choices for Life event on World Heart Day. With Riyad Musa as your host, come take part in free heart health screenings including blood pressure and cholesterol. Get free health and dietary advice from Nestle's nutritional experts, do an exercise class with renowned fitness expert Lisa Raleigh, and enjoy delicious food demonstrations. It's all happening at Zoo Lake on the 29th of September 2013 from 10 a.m. till 3 p.m. And entry is free of charge. Start your journey towards good health and wellness.